YouTube, what's good? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or wherever you are in the world. Good whatever. I had a quick funny to share with y'all. This was actually pretty hilarious. Somebody reached out to me directly and was just like, damn, Sean, man, I just thought about something. And I was texting back. I was like, what's up, big fella? What's going on? He said, man, you've been reading directly from your journal. I was like, yeah, I like to write. I like to write my feelings. I like to, put it out there so some people who can relate to it, they can keep it in the back of their mind or they can just learn from it and grow from it. He was like, man, but don't you care what people gonna think, man? You got a lot of balls to do that shit. I said, damn, do I care? No, I don't fucking care. I was like, for what? It's not a lot of people that's willing to admit how they feel in the first fucking place. So I was like, honestly, I got nothing to lose. I've already lost a lot. And the only thing I'm learning from this is that you still got to keep moving forward through the hurt, through the pain, through everything. And you have to be probably the most ignorant or dumbest motherfucker out there to not feel things or to not allow yourself to feel things. For so many years, I didn't allow myself to feel grief. I didn't allow myself to feel pain. I didn't allow myself to feel pity. The one thing I did allow myself was shame. Shame that I was a fat motherfucker. Shame that I was insecure. Shame that I was just a money hungry asshole who put material things before, God, my purpose, and my family. Like, I'm not ashamed to say who I used to be. I'm not even ashamed to tell people my story because I hope that they learn something from it. And like I said, I'm not one to give any life advice. I'm not one to give any fucking relationship advice because I haven't been successful in relationships. I haven't been successful in a lot of different things. So when people say, well, what do you offer? Motherfucker, I offer what not to do, right? Because my experience taught me one thing. And my mother used to always tell me this shit, especially growing up as a teenager. She'd be like, I can't tell you what to do, but I know what's going to happen. I was like, so what's going to happen? She was like, I can't tell you. You're not going to listen anyway. She's like, experience is the best teacher. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I grew up like knowing that shit and learning it. My mom was right. Experience is the best teacher because unlike me, I was very hard-headed. I would take something, I would learn something, but I wouldn't apply it because it's like I always felt like I was smarter. I always felt like I can just outsmart the system. Like I'm the exception. Like this shit won't happen to me. This shit doesn't happen to me. And when I tell you God got a way of humbling a motherfucker, God'll humble you quick. And it's not something that you expect. It's just, I've seen guys literally had the worst luck. And all of a sudden, overnight, things turn around for the better for them. I've seen guys live on top of the fucking mountaintop, have a great run, have a great year, have a great 2 or 3 years. And all of a sudden, bam, empire falls apart. Everybody split up, everybody go. And that's why I've learned to keep my ego in check like a motherfucker because as quickly as God gave it to you, he will snatch that shit from under you. And those same people you stepped on to get to the top, they're going to be the same people that you going to ask for assistance coming down. That's why I'm real firm on never looking down on anybody. I don't care your situation. I really don't because I've been broke. I've been hungry. I've had money. I've given people money. I've given people food. It's like that shit don't really matter. Like if I got it, I'll give it to you. Especially, and I don't even look for shit in return because I know God got me, right? But I don't believe in looking down on anybody. I would never look down on another man unless my intention is to pick him up. Straight up. So when I see, fat motherfuckers in the gym, and I can say fat motherfucker because I used to be one. I'm telling y'all. People be like, oh, you shouldn't say that. Well, I'm going to say it because I have a right to say it. That's like, I ain't going to get into that. That might cause some shit. But I will just say, I can call somebody big fella. I can call somebody a fat motherfucker. I can call somebody you obese pancake because I used to be that. Those are things I used to tell myself. And it's like, I'm not shaming anybody. I'm not putting you down, but these are facts. I went to the Ford garage tonight. I met up with my guy, Chris G. And, sat there, he ate his healthy meal. And he did it the right way. He tracked his macros for the day. At least that's what I saw. We was talking about it. He tracked his macros for the day and he had room for it. And even then I was like, bro, you bust your ass. You was in the gym. Like he told me, you went to the gym 11 o'clock at night. Even though your day was full, you still went to go get it done. Bro, you fine. yeah, I ate bad. He said, I didn't eat bad. He didn't say that. I'm lying. He was like, I went out three nights this week. I ate out 3 nights this week, and I stepped on the scale, and all it did was go up 1 pound. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, you look great. You put in the work. Like, keep putting in the work. You're going to get to where you want to go. That's why I almost low-key get pissed off when people be like, how long is it going to take? Guys, journey don't have a time limit. You just got to get on it, and you got to start walking, because your goals are going to change. Like, he was telling me the same thing I thought. I thought when I was like 300, when I get to 225, I'm a little lean and ripped. Hell no. When I got to 225, I looked a hell of a lot better, but I was just a smaller bag of milk. And then I was like, well, damn, you know what? I got to get to 200. I got to get to 210, 212 to look shredded and ripped. Hell no. I just looked even better than what I did at fucking 225 or 220, right? And then that's when I was like, you know what? Let me holler at my boy real quick. So that's when he was like, bro, you not going to look the way you want to look or even remotely close to it until you hit like 195 and under. I was like, word? It's like, yes. He's like, that's the problem with us guys. We think we're going to look shredded at this weight because it's a lot less than what we got. He said, but that's not how the body works. You actually got a lot more body fat. You got a lot more weight to lose than you think. So when people get into this mindset of, oh, I just got to get to this number, you're going to get to that number, you're not going to be satisfied. My homeboy, my old barber, Francois Elijah Dupree, Tennessee. I know he going to watch this, so yeah, I put your whole name out there. I got your social too. I ain't going to put that out there because you my boy, but you know, I ain't going to be like that. But whenever I came back in April, he was like, damn, bro, you look good. Man, you know what? I appreciate it. You put in the work. All right, cool. And then I come back again in July. It's like, damn, you did even more work. Now you're way more defined. Well, yeah, you know, the journey didn't stop for me. You know, I didn't get to 212, 210 and be like, oh, this is it for me. Hell no. You know, I legit like the way I feel. I mean, the looks, that's going to come because you put in the work. But I like the way I feel. I like the fact that I can beat my teenagers in an all-out foot race, smoke their ass, dusted them the fuck off. I like the fact that the road I live on is uphill. I sprinted that entire hill last night. And when I got to the top, I was a little winded, but I wasn't killed over trying to gasp for air or no shit like that. My lungs wasn't burning like they did when I was a fat motherfucker. You know, my legs and my back wasn't hurting because I was trying to lug around, 130 extra pounds I'm not supposed to have. So, I feel great. When we went to Ford Garage tonight, like I was saying, I'm not trying to self-glaze. I am. I'm going to do this because I fucking worked hard for it, as I stated before. It felt good to just, I was just in there chilling. Like, I don't bother nobody, and I really hardly talk to anybody. But I knew Chris was in there. And I was like, I'm a man of my word. Last time I had to cancel, I had this thing pop up, this interview or whatever. So I was like, man, I had some rough shit happen last night, to which that's why I couldn't do my video. Just had a lot of rough shit happen. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep my word, and I'm gonna go have dinner with my homeboy or whatever. So I go up there, and then as soon as I walk through the door, light-skinned lady, got her chest out, big curly hair, and then, she was talking to this guy, and he was cooked. She was talking to him, and they worked together. But then I come in through the door, I'm just wearing a black t-shirt, some gray joggers, some Nike Dunks, Apple Watch, and my past master necklace, and my hat, my Titleist hat. She immediately looks over, locks eyes, and just keep looking. And so I just went like this. And everybody else, she was like, hold on, I'll go seat you. It wasn't nothing like that. I just walked past everybody. The aura was different. She didn't bother me. It was cool. And I go over there, I see Chris, we sit there, we chop it up. I never really cared for, just eating out like that, especially while I'm on this journey, because I count on my calories. I pulled out my app. Oh, you gonna eat something? I said, no, I'm done for the day. The only thing I'm gonna have when I get home is my Greek yogurt bowl, which is gonna consist of 340 grams of Oikos 000. I'm gonna take the fruit out. I don't really got to taste of frozen fruit tonight. My 29 grams of walnuts, my 20 grams of honey. And then I even went and put, even though it was very, like a little dollop, I did like the tiniest dollop of Nutella peanut. So I put that in there and I mixed all that up, and it was fucking phenomenal. Stayed within the macros, stayed within the calories, good to go. So I'm like, all right, cool. It's those small tweaks that matters, And it's like, I'm not overdoing it. I'm not underdoing it. I'm right on it. Not a problem. Still making progress, still getting this water weight off. I feel great, feel fine. But because I was able to fit nice in my black t-shirt, and I ain't even got on a medium, this is just a large because all my other clothes getting washed. So I was like, man, I still feel comfortable in it. And then it ain't, just draping off me every 5 minutes, the women, they just looking at me and Chris. I have to say, I'm taller, I'm a little more stockier, but I just got good genetics in that part. But to see that, and I feel like I'm covering up, and I felt like Chris, was covering up. They just kept looking. Straight up, they kept looking. And they was either with their boyfriends or their husbands, but kept looking. Just straight up kept looking. And I was like, all right, cool. Even when I got out to go to the bathroom. And that goes to show, like, guys, you are rare when you lean out. You don't have to walk around looking like a bodybuilder. In fact, most women don't even like that shit. Like, who the hell want to do whose lats are so big he can't turn around to wipe his ass? That's some real life shit. And a lot of women know that those guys are hella selfish. They only care about the gym. They only care about these things. Now, don't get me wrong. I care about the gym, but I prioritize myself. I don't prioritize the gym. I prioritize myself. And because I prioritize myself, the gym is a part of that. What I eat is a part of that. How I, feed my mind is a part of that, And life is one of those things to where you just have to live it enough to see that these lived experience, they are real. I used to be like, man, Luther just making that shit up. Southpaw Honcho just making this shit up. Guys, these motherfuckers ain't lying. All you got to do is just exist, and you will see everybody that's cooked around you. You will see them, and I saw it, just all the beer that they were drinking, all those burgers and fries and shit they were stuffing in their face, the cakes and shit. I'm not saying I'm judging. I'm just saying that because my mindset shifted and the way I view food now is not the same. Don't get me wrong. I told Chris and everybody else, every 90 days I have a fuck it up day. Straight up. I'm gonna eat whatever I want on that 91st day. I'm gonna go ham. I'm gonna hamburgers, hot, whatever I wanna do, right? And I know the scale gonna spike 10, 12 pounds for like a week, but I don't give a fuck. My body will break it down and I'm back on track the next day anyway. So I know The Rock does it, but he's on gear. That's why he looked so huge for so long. I'm all natural. So I know I'm gonna hold that glycogen in that water for like a week, and then when they come back off, it's cool. I'm gonna be back to normal. But I'm gonna enjoy life. It's just that for 95% of the year, I'm gonna eat relatively clean. Well, excuse me. For 90% of the year, I'm gonna eat relatively clean. For 95% of the year, I'm gonna eat clean. And for that 5%, that once every 90 days, I'm gonna fuck some shit up and I'm gonna enjoy it. And I like the way that it allows me to live. I like the freedom that it brings me to know that one donut ain't gonna make me fat. As a matter of fact, if I decided to eat a dozen donuts after I done got to 10, 11% body fat, and this is my life, and I'm maintaining 11 to 15% body fat, you think I'm gonna give a fuck about eating a slice or two of pizza once every 2 weeks? Hell no, because it's gonna be planned for. It's gonna be something that, okay, you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna have some Japanese shrimp fried rice with chicken, steak, shrimp, and some scallops, and some fried rice with extra eggs and extra vegetables, because I love the onions and the peas and the carrots and the eggs. I just like it to where there's so much eggs you barely think that it's rice in there, and then just throw the protein on top. That's how messy I like my fucking Chinese rice. So I'll plan for that. Like the day before, I'm still gonna hit the gym hard as fuck, and I'll probably eat just maybe a protein shake and a banana, just to replace, and yeah, the protein shake, the glutamine. I'm laying off the creatine for a little while so I can let the water weight get off me a little bit quicker. But I'm gonna have something really like the day before, and then I'm gonna still hit the gym and go crazy in the gym that day of my fuck it up day, and then I'm gonna eat that goofy shit, right? Because once I plan the goofy shit, I know that the next day I can get back on track. So after having that protein loaded fried rice, after probably eating 3 or 4 pounds of fucking watermelon, after eating more than likely, I ain't gonna go to the McDonald's and get it, but I'll go somewhere, make my own French fries, air fry them bitches, and just eat a whole bunch of them. Put some lean ground turkey on top with some cottage cheese and some honey and seasoning, and fuck that whole thing up. And then at the end of the night, what would I do? I ain't gonna even get the Halo ice cream. No. I'm gonna go get that butter pecan, and I'm gonna make my own fucking monkey bread with the brioche bread, with the liquid to go with it, and some dark chocolate chips. Bro, I'm gonna fuck all of that up. And then I'm gonna be cool the next day because I'm back on track. That's when my body immediately goes back to the canned tuna, the lean turkey breast, the chicken or the salmon, the broccoli, the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, and the yogurt. It goes right back to that. That's why I'm not a fan of, oh, I'll start Monday. Nah, bro. That's self-defeating. Just get right back to it the very next day. Your body know the difference, but we are creatures of habit. And if you fuck up on Tuesday, oh, I just start back Monday, motherfucker, you just took an additional 5, 6 days to keep fucking off and build that habit. Nah, get back on track that next day. So, I've been reading y'all my journal entries, you know, every day now, just to give y'all some perspective. And this one, the reason why I talked about, you know, being big, you know, that's why I talked about like enjoying your life. Because once you get to 10, 11, 12, 13% body fat, you have a little room. Just don't go over that ceiling of 15%. Make sure you can still see at least your top 4 abs. And if you feel yourself slipping, okay, big fella, it's time to lock back in because summertime coming. And you want to walk around with your shirt off. Hell, you want to walk around your house with a tank top on. Can't do that if you 18, 19, 20, 30% body fat. Got to stay on top of it. So I didn't want to die. I just didn't want to keep being me. Before y'all say anything, you know, it's not one of those, you know, just listen to where I go. You know, it's not one of those things where, oh, I was going to do something crazy because of my weight. Just ride with me, all right? Like I said, I didn't want to die. I just didn't want to keep being me. There's something I've never really admitted out loud. For years, I kept saying, I want a different life. But the truth was, I don't think I wanted a different life. I think I just didn't want to keep being the person I had become. There's a difference. Because I never woke up wishing I didn't exist. I woke up wishing I didn't have to wake up as him again. The man who broke promises, the man who quit, the man who kept saying this time will be different and then watched himself do the exact same shit again and again and again. That kind of disappointment changes you. Not all at once, but little by little. Until one day you stop looking forward to tomorrow. Not because tomorrow is bad, because you already know who's going to wake up. You, with the same habits, same bullshit excuses, the same guilt, the same conversation in the mirror, the same lie, I'll start on Monday. I wasn't tired of life. I was just tired. Tired of meeting the same version of myself every fucking morning. And maybe that's why this transformation is so emotional for me. Because people think you're changing your body. No, you're grieving an identity. You're attending the funeral of a man who kept hurting you, even though he was you. That's a weird kind of grief because nobody else sees it. Nobody sends flowers, nobody checks on you, but every day, another piece of the old you dies. The excuses, the lies, the hiding, the victim, the man who didn't believe he could change. And here's what nobody warned me about. Even when you know that version of yourself has to die, you still mourn him because he was familiar. He got me through a lot of shit. He survived. He just didn't know how to live. I used to think discipline killed that man. Now I think compassion buried him because hate never changed me. Shame never changed me. Embarrassment never changed me. The only thing that changed me was finally believing that I was worth saving. Not because I had earned it, not because I became perfect, because I got tired. I got tired of abandoning myself. I spent years waiting for somebody else to rescue me. Motivation, a coach, a diet, a meal plan, a Monday, a new year, a miracle, a pill that promises to make you lose weight by just taking the pill and keeping your calories under 2,000 along with the nutritious diet. None of them came. Then one morning I looked in the mirror and realized something that hurt. If I didn't save this man, nobody else is coming. This wasn't hopelessness. It was freeing, right? Because for the first time, my future stopped depending on luck. It started depending on whether I would finally stop walking away from myself. In every workout, in every meal, every promise I kept wasn't punishment. It was me proving I came back for you. Maybe that wasn't healing. Maybe that's not what healing really is. Not becoming someone else, but becoming the person who finally stops believing and stops leaving himself behind. Because I never wanted to disappear. I just wanted the version of me that wasn't drowning to finally believe he deserves someone to reach in and pull him out. I'm just grateful that that somebody who saved me ended up being me, right? Some of y'all don't need a new life. You just need to stop abandoning yourself every time life gets hard. And that's true in every sense of the fucking word. We tend to run away from the tough conversations. I know I used to, right? Those type of conversations, those type of situations that would make you better, make your relationship better, I ran from those because I didn't know how to handle certain things. I didn't know how to handle the letdown of myself. So if I couldn't handle letting myself down, how the fuck do you think I can handle letting down somebody else? You know, running from these things don't make you better. You got to face them head on. And I recently, my big brother, you know, Joseph Lee Perkins is like, people don't understand. They'll never understand the relationship me and Joe got. And it ain't for a lot of people to understand, but that's my big brother. And even though we only like a year or two apart, you know, we both have way different perspectives. But when he going through some shit, I know I'm there to make him see the other side. And when I'm going through some shit, he there to make me see the other side. So, you know, I got a whole bunch of good brothers out there who know what I'm going through. You know, Kevin Hubbard, you know, Ian Wingfield, you know, Joe Perkins, Abdullah Mustafa. Man, there's a few of y'all out there that's real. Ahmad Brokenberry, Henry Thomas, you know, Travis Arroyo. It's like I can't even count and keep, you know, it's a lot of y'all who truly fucking love me and reach out to me to make sure, hey, make sure you still kicking. And I really, truly, firmly believe, like, if I was still that same 315-pound guy, they would have to check on me a lot more. Because when you go through loss and grieving and all these different things that I'm going through right now, it's like, it's easy to want to put one in you and just end it. Because a lot of people will go straight to that instead of trying to fight through it. I'm not saying that I'm better than those folks, because I'm not. Everybody has to come to these thoughts sometimes, but you make it out. You know, you find a way. And I know for me, the community of brothers that I have, you know, it's astounding. You know, even from my blood family, you know, Terrence Johnson, you know, Devontae, you know, it's just a lot of fucking people who you really don't even know got your back until shit actually hit the fan. One of my favorite sayings is, it's all shits and giggles until somebody giggles and shits. Yeah, it's all funny in games until shit get real. And shit really got real recently in my life. But instead of running from it, you know, I was like, nah. And guys, I have in my email the fucking job offer to go to this company in Chicago. I got it. I could literally leave for Chicago, start a brand new life, start a brand new everything, and just forget about it. But Joe told me something last night that stuck with me. And he said, man, maybe your viewpoint is wrong. Like, what you mean? Like, bro, I'll be able to set my kids up for it. It's like, yeah, but I don't really think they care about what you can do for them financially. He said, bro, you always been a hustler. You always been gone. Even during our time in the military, you deployed a lot, back to back to back. You was gone a lot. So they used to you being gone. He was like, why don't you sacrifice for them one time? I was like, I am sacrificing. I'm not going to be here. He's like, nah, bro, you need to sacrifice that job for them. Maybe you don't, you know, have as much as you used to have. Maybe you don't ball out as much as you used to. Maybe you don't walk around with as much walk around money. He's like, but watching them kids grow up, watching them have a lot of firsts, being there for those things are going to outweigh what you bought for them, what you set up for them when they got older. He said they'll appreciate it, but they'll appreciate it more if they can say, my dad was there when this happened, or when this happened, my dad came to me quick. And so, man, when I went to bed last night, man, I prayed about this decision. And when he said that, I really felt like God put that on him for him to say, because that was my answer. And honestly, I was just going to be like, look, fuck it, I'm just going to leave anyway, because, hey, if I ain't going to have the life that I built here, I might as well just fucking just, you know, leave and go somewhere else or whatever. But I was like, nah, I ain't going to do that. You know, you come to realization real quick. You really, truly do. And with the people that God put in your life, either they there to help you or they there to take from you. Either way, it's a lesson. And I learned a very valuable lesson with my big brother Joe, and Kevin in general. Kevin told me today, he was like, man, look, none of this is linear. He's like, none of this is linear. He's like, your grandma passing. He's like, I can tell it got a major effect on you. And he's right, it does. You know, I was finally able to cry when I was alone. I didn't want to cry in front of my parents because I wanted to be strong for them. But because I was finally able to cry, it's like now I can't look at a picture of her without getting teary-eyed. You know, people will never understand how much that woman meant to me. And for her to, you know, for her to be as pivotal as she was and to always have my back, but in the right way. She didn't uphold no wrong, just like my mama. They ain't gonna uphold no wrong, and they gonna keep it real with you, but they gonna love you and they gonna support you. And just knowing that I'll never see her again, it finally hit me. You know, when she died, part of me died, and I think that things happen in threes. You know, lost a job. You know, lost my lady, lost my nana. Three monumental things that all happened in the same year. So I got hella faith that for the bad three things that just tried to tear me apart, but I'm still moving forward. I think three awesome things are gonna happen after that, and I got faith that it is gonna happen because I'm claiming it and I'm going for it, right? But I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not running from these issues anymore. You know, it feels good to want to face this shit head on. You know, play it how it go, and I'm gonna take it how it's coming. That's just what it is, man. Ain't no other way to look at it. I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna get through it. God wouldn't take me to it if I couldn't get through it. And that's just what it's gonna be. It's a lesson in all of this. Sometimes you just gotta shut the fuck up, open your ears and your eyes, and see the lesson that God is trying to teach you. If you don't see it, ask him, what you trying to show me, man? Why? It's okay to question. Maybe you'll get an answer, maybe you won't. But I know one thing I won't be doing. I won't be backtracking, and I won't be playing no fucking away games. So, guys, you know, when you finally step out of that version of yourself to where like you need that person to be saved, you have to save them. You got to look in the mirror and go save you. You know, you can't expect to be saved or be taken seriously if you 5'5" and you 295 pounds. Nobody ain't gonna respect you, bro. You have to save yourself. Cause I like the respect I get. I'm not lying. I'm already tall compared to most, you know, average height or whatever. I'm taller than most males. And the aura that I walk around with now almost fucking commands it immediately because I'm not smiling. I'm pretty direct. I'm looking you in your eye when we talk. And when I'm doing these things, it's like the person who's receiving this, they automatically know, okay, hold on. So look at the shoulders on this motherfucker. And he's standing tall. You know what? This motherfucker respect himself. Maybe I should do it too. Hey, sir, how are you? Hello, how are you? How can I help you today? Oh, no, you came to my restaurant. Yeah, but if you know, I appreciate you. Thank you for holding the door open for me. Oh, man, you're really nice. Oh, thank you. Well, you know what? We got a full house right now, but give me 5 minutes. Okay, cool. Not even 3 minutes later. Hey man, is it just you or you got another person? No, it's just me, man. I just want to come up here and watch the game, and you know, and have me some Topo Chico with a lime. I got you, bro. Come this way. Who is he? Why does he get to go ahead of us? We've been here for an hour. Guys, when you respect yourself, other people respect you even more. And the fact that I was nice, the fact that I was kind, the fact that I just asked him, hey man, how can I help you? You know, what's your day like? You know, I get it. It look busy as hell in here. He ain't have to slide me through everybody else and get me that one little spot that was available. He did that for whatever reason, but he did it. I would think he did it because I showed him just as much respect as he showed me, right? But you have to walk into that version, guys, and it's gonna take you time. So next time you be like, oh shit, man, how long is this gonna take me? Until you get that beer belly off of you, until you get that fat from around your face and your neck, until your shoulders pop out like mine do. This black shirt really do make that shit look good. It is what it is. It's a fact. And when y'all get on this side of it, y'all gonna be doing the same shit I'm doing. It's almost like getting a new car and you gotta break it in. It's like, dang, I got this new body. I didn't know I could hit this hard this fast. I didn't know I could run this far this fast. So, you know, it's one of those things, man. I'm excited for any and everybody who want to check out the description. Get that link. Go ahead and click it over so you can set up a time to talk to me. I'm back in action now. I'm looking to help these guys. I'm looking to help you. Just take that first step and see if you qualify to work with me. If you don't, that's cool. Ain't no personal feelings in it. You know, hey, some people ready, some people not. You gotta accept it or you don't. Some people gonna want to keep picking up the fork on some goofy shit, and some people want to reach out to me and pick up their fork the right way. You make that decision, but don't play no fucking away games.